Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk, a very special edition, a playoff edition. How about that? Colton Coon's taking care of us behind the camera as always. Pleased to be joined by this guy to my left, Parker Hicks, who has orchestrated a successful basketball season, and they are doing the playoff thing coming up early this next week on a Monday night, 7:30 in Stamford with an M.
Stamford.
Yes, that's right. Stamford. That's the high school that they'll be playing at, but they'll be playing Glen, the Tigers, in the first round of the playoffs. And so we had you in here, I don't know, three, 4 weeks ago, and we were talking about the season and everything like that. And you kind of probably, as you sat there, had an idea that you were going to go to the playoffs. As you finished up the season, take me through the dynamic of how we got here and did things kind of play out somewhat like you expected to?
I'll just start at district. I think, if I were to rank the district how it started before the year, it would have been exactly how it finished. Estacado with the 1, us 2, Lakeview 3, Levelland 4. And so just with that guess alone, with the new playoff format, I'm able to narrow down playoff opponents. And so I've known those two for a while, and Glen for a while. But, it's been a real, obviously, successful year. But, people are always asking me why I'm so negative. And, to me, 26-5 isn't validated unless you make a run,
Yeah.
But I've been telling our players all we got to do is get in because, it's just, I compare it to March Madness. All you got to do is get in the door and playing well at the right time. Now you can make a run. I talk about Shallow Water girls last year a lot because they were third in district and then go on to win the state championship, and so we just got to get in the door, and now we're in the door, and hopefully we can be playing our best Monday night.
Yeah, that's the playoff runs is what everybody remembers. They rarely remember the regular seasons. That's just, unfortunately or fortunately, that's just the way sports work, especially in your sport. And who's telling you you're negative? I think you're just a ball of sunshine and rainbows and puppy dogs all the time. I mean, that's
sure.
Right.
Thank you.
That's right. I mean, cupcakes for everybody, right? That's right. What is your, basketball wise? And Estacado 1 is really good. Okay?
Right.
They've got legit players. They're well coached. Coach Wagner has been there a long time. But what basketball wise? What is your program collectively maybe better at than they were before, and what do they need to continue to get better at to make this run? Collectively.
The kind of shocking thing, and I don't know if it's me, I don't know, but coming ready to play for games. I question if we're ready to play after a shoot-around or something, and then they'll come out the night and they'll prove me wrong. And so I've been real pleased by that, but that kind of goes back to my negativity. I'm always not thinking the brightest. But I think giving our guys credit for being ready to play. Even Estacado scores don't look very good. The first time I don't think we're ready to play. And I was honest and told them that. But the second time, we're up 2 with 4 minutes to go in the second quarter, and we were ready to play. And then to beat great teams, you got to put 32 minutes together, and we didn't. We had about 22 that were really good, and that 10 minutes was the difference in the game. And so, basketball-wise, I just think that we're showing up ready to compete and win every game, and that's what I love to see as a coach. Just because I'm not having to beg for effort or attitude or anything like that. We're just competitors who want to win, I think, and have seen some success winning, and now it's kind of led to some confidence with them. But they also know that we got to have kind of 32 good minutes of good basketball here in the playoffs.
Yeah, you and I have been around a coach or two in our recent past that would question if people were ready to play during a shoot-around. I have an edge to him and trying to keep everybody else on edge and trying to keep you – because and the reason is because like what you're about to endure, and in the college level, it's like a one shot deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have it for 32 or 40 minutes, whatever it may be, it's like that's it, know. And so, the scale's like redlining at a 10 all the time on trying to keep you on edge. Okay, you mentioned I want to talk about Because this is a bit of a new postseason scenario that they didn't have years ago. Used to, you'd match up against another district, and it was people are like, "What is this big school, small school? Explain to me this." And you're kind of saying, "Oh, we've already kind of known, maybe since mid-January, kind of what it would look like." Explain the format for the layman out there that doesn't understand the change that was made this postseason and big school, small school, and all these different things.
Yeah, so obviously now 4 teams make the playoffs out of our district.
Okay, that hasn't changed.
That's the same.
Yeah.
Now they're going to look at the enrollments out of those 4. They're going to take the enrollments of each school, and the 2 with the most kids in high school will go to a big school bracket, and the 2 with the smallest will go to a small school bracket. For us, it's easy because we're the smallest enrollment in our district, so we know we're going to be small. But there, about a couple weeks ago, Big Spring beat Levelland, and so the situation was if Big Spring got in over Levelland, Estacado would have dropped to small school. And so there's so many kind of revolving doors that have to maybe take place for some of those other schools. For us, it's easy because we're the smallest.
For now.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
And so we know. But like Estacado, I think, is the 3rd biggest in our district. And so if those 2 teams that are bigger than them get in the playoffs, then they drop down to a different bracket. Or if one of them does, then they're up in the big school. So it's, for some of them, it's a revolving door. And there was a point where we thought they were going small school bracket and with us, but then Levelland takes care of business, and now they're back to the big school bracket. And so it's created some interesting matchups, I think, across the state. I saw a by-district score from a girls' game, and it was the number 2 versus number 4 team in the state in the first round of playoffs. And it's just...
Which is an unintended consequence, but that's just the way it works.
I mean, you're playing a district champion and somebody who got second, but got second behind the number 1 team in the state, and so it's just kind of an unfortunate. It's not like you're playing a 4 seed again like it was. You could be playing like us. It's basically 2 teams that got second in district. We got second behind Estacado. Glen Rose got second behind Brock, and so it's not like a 2 versus 3 anymore. It's based off enrollment,
4
right?
And all that, yeah. And they try to make it fair because this is similar to how football.
It's similar.
Yeah, there's some similarities and all that, and trying to create more of a competitive or different divisions of a postseason. But okay, bottom line is you've known about Glen Rose and Brock for a while and all that, but take me through Glen Rose, the Tigers. Like what do fans expect to see from how they'll play it? Up tempo, they score a lot, and so what do you expect to see from those guys?
Offensively, they play really up tempo. They're going to get the ball and run, so we got to be good in transition. We got to find guys, and then offensively, they're just going to kind of 5-out motion, Bobby Knight, circle motion type stuff. They're really good at curling screens, slipping screens, flaring screens. If I were to compare them to a team we've played, it's probably Jayton, the same style offensively. Now, they're not as fast defensively, meaning they won't pick up and press, but they'll be in a 1-2-2 zone, or they'll be in man, or they'll be in a box zone. So they're always trying to keep the other opponent on their toes. But, they're a really good team, and, they scored, I mentioned earlier, 111 in their last district game. And, I don't care how – scoring 111 in a 32-minute game, you got to have some players, and so we're gonna have to defend well, and that's not just Monday. If we're fortunate to play again, you're gonna have to defend well the next game. It's like Jalen Hurts said at the end of the Super Bowl: "Is defense wins you championships." And if we're giving up 80, 90 points in a game, we're probably not gonna win. So.
How did you end up in what were the possibilities? Because you end up in Stamford with an M, so we're clear, which is about it's like 30 minutes kind of outside of Abilene. It's about 2 hours ish from Lubbock. But what were the other possibilities of? Because y'all it's always fascinating to me because y'all start working on these things when you kind of have a feel. You try to figure out where we're playing, and you want to get in a good gym, and everybody's got to agree to it, and there's all this pre-work done just in case.
Right.
Yeah, but Stamford.
Yeah, so Stamford was actually thrown together this week. I reached out to Merkel maybe 3 weeks ago to get on their list. Then I heard from Merkel this week, which they're, smaller 3A.
And their girls
That's actually
made
where
it.
we had our first program win.
That's
in
right.
Merkel.
I
circled that, Jim. But
Yeah.
their girls are still playing in playoffs, and he wasn't going to be able to give us an answer on if we can play there until Friday night. And so me and Glen just decided, no, let's find somewhere else. And We had a couple other ones in kind of same situation. If their teams were in playoffs, they weren't going to host. But we found Stanford, and what's funny is Loveland and Brock are playing at 6 o'clock. And so that's the 2 seed from our district playing the 1 seed. And so it's our district going against each other, so they'll be at 6, we'll be at 7:30. And so we thought it'd kind of be a cool night to have a little doubleheader between our 2 districts.
Yeah, for a little round robin, not really round robin, because you've already kind of looked at, okay, if we're fortunate enough to get past Glen Rose, you've already kind of down the road.
Yeah, it won't be Brock or Loveland. We would if the only chance one of us would see them if we're both playing in the 4th round. So
well, let's hopefully see them again.
Yeah, easy scout.
That's right. That means you will have made a run.
Yeah.
I've asked you this at different times, but like, what are we're big on the term around here, non-negotiable. You've heard that before. What are your, like, coming up Monday night non-negotiables for your kids? Like what if there's a short list, like, fellas, we must do or we cannot do, what would those be?
I didn't get to practice yesterday because I had our district meeting, but my mindset towards them on the offensive end will kind of change in playoffs. I'm going to kind of build them up with confidence and just make them feel like, they can shoot it when they're open. They know our shot selection at this point of the year. We're not fixing that. And so offensive end, it's just going to be a confidence deal, being us. Defensively, the non-negotiables and what we'll talk about, for however long we keep playing is you can't give up any uncontested shots. Can't give up any layups. Can't give up any second chance points. And then you got to turn them over. So those are kind of our 4 non-negotiables on the defensive end is no uncontested shots for them. No easy layups, no second chance points. And then really what I didn't mention, keep them off the free throw line. Don't let them get easy points. But, that's easier said than done because you can watch any game. There's uncontested shots and layups going in. But we just got to try to limit those to keep them from scoring 111 again.
Yeah, no, I get it. Well, it's been fun. You've had an awesome season regardless of what happens here. I know you want to keep it going, and hopefully you do just that. So, again, just reminding everybody, this is going to be Monday night. It is tip-off is at 7:30. On air is at 7 o'clock, 93.1 Yes FM. Might even have, if you're not careful, Joe Sexton will be on put the headset on like he did recently. So we'll see. But no, my man Branson Nash does a wonderful job there calling the Patriot games. So be careful if you're traveling. And again, you can listen to this game on 93.1 Yes FM. If you got an app on your phone, you can listen to it on your phone, in the car, whatever you need to do there. So we bring you that playoff action. And then we'll see what happens after that, because these old Patriots could be playing fairly quickly after that game if fortunate enough to beat Glen Rose. So anyway, that'll wrap it up for this one. Appreciate you all tuning in for this special edition of Patriot Talk. For Colton Coons, for Parker Hicks, this is Chris Lovell. We'll talk to you again next time.